You just got 3 roof quotes back. One's $9,800. One's $14,500. One's $21,000. Same neighborhood, same size house, same storm damage. So which one do you pick? Most homeowners lean toward the middle. Not the cheapest, sketchy, not the most expensive, feels like a rip-off. That logic is exactly what these contractors are counting on, and it could cost you everything. The roofing industry has almost no regulation. In most states, anyone can call themselves a roofer and knock on your door after a hailstorm. The gap between the best contractor on your list and the worst isn't just price. It's the difference between a roof that lasts 30 years with a warranty that pays out, and one that leaks in year 4 with a contractor who's already moved to the next storm market. 7 red flags. Let's go! If the quote in your hand doesn't spell out a manufacturer certification by name with a number you can check, stop reading. That's the first red flag. GAF Master Elite, Owens Corning. Platinum Preferred and CertainTeed ShingleMaster aren't just sales badges. Fewer than 3% of contractors nationwide qualify for these top tiers. The difference is real. Only certified installers can offer the strongest warranties, with 25 to 50 years of non-prorated coverage. Anyone else is selling you a shingle box promise that quietly excludes the labor to fix bad installation. Here's where most roofs actually fail. Over 80% of the time, it's the install, not the shingle, that leaks or blows off. Ask Jennifer in Oklahoma. Her roof started leaking in year 3. The contractor was gone, and the manufacturer's material-only warranty didn't cover a dime of the $6,200 repair. The lesson: a real quote lists the certification program, gives you a number, and lets you verify it on the manufacturer's website. No name, no number, no deal. If your quote skips a clear line for underlayment, that's a red flag you can't afford to ignore. Underlayment is the hidden shield between your roof deck and the shingles, the last line of defense if water gets past the outer layer. Here's where vague proposals quietly cut corners. Asphalt felt costs about 10 cents a square foot, while synthetic runs closer to 30 or even 50 cents. On a typical roof, that's a $400 to $800 difference, but it impacts every square foot over your head. Synthetic underlayment isn't just a premium upgrade. It's required by every major manufacturer's certification program. If you see a quote that just says underlayment included or lumps it in with other materials, you're likely getting the cheapest felt, not the real protection you need. Ice and Water Shield is a separate product meant for eaves, valleys, and around roof penetrations. Building code in most northern states makes it mandatory. A real quote spells out the underlayment by name, lists the square footage, and separates ice and water shield with exact locations. Anything less means you're paying for a roof, but not the system that keeps it dry. A single lump sum price, complete roof replacement for $14,500, is not a real quote. It's a blank check for the contractor and a trap for you. When everything is buried in one number, you have no way to compare shingle brands, underlayment grade, or how hidden damage will be handled. Here's how it plays out. On day 2, the crew tears off your old roof and suddenly discovers rotted sheathing or soft spots. Now you're on the hook because your house is exposed and you have no leverage left. Mike found this out the hard way. His contractor called after tear-off, claimed the decking was shot, and demanded another $3,000 before work could continue. With no pre-approved per-sheet price and no line item for deck repairs, Mike had no choice but to pay or risk a half-finished roof. A legitimate quote breaks out tear-off, disposal, and decking repair, listing unit prices and quantities up front. If you don't see every material and contingency spelled out, you're not getting a proposal. You're getting set up for a forced negotiation when it's too late to walk away. If your roof quote skips a workmanship warranty or buries it in fine print, that's a warning shot. Material warranties only cover defective shingles or factory flaws. They don't pay a cent for mistakes like crooked drip edge, lifted shingles, or nails driven too high. That's installation error, and it's where most roofs fail. The best workmanship warranties run 10, 15, even 25 years, with clear terms and a claim process you can actually use. But here's the trap. A long warranty is worthless if the company vanishes. In Texas, a couple called Storm Shield Roofing for a hail-damaged roof. The paperwork promised a 10-year guarantee. 2 years later, leaks appeared. The phone was disconnected, and the LLC had dissolved. No one left to answer the call. That's not a fluke. The average storm chaser roofing company lasts less than 3 years in any market. They close up, rebrand, and leave homeowners stranded. If your quote doesn't spell out who covers workmanship, for how long, and exactly how to file a claim, right inside the contract, you have no real protection. Only trust a warranty that's written, signed, and tied to a business with a proven track record in your state. Leaks almost never start in the open field of shingles. They show up at the weak spots, where your roof changes direction, meets a wall, or gets punctured by a vent. The danger zones are always the same: chimney, skylight, dormer wall, valleys, and plumbing vents. If your quote just says includes flashing or buries these transition details in a lumped line, you're staring at a red flag. Here's why. Shortcuts at transitions are the fastest way for water to find its way inside. Reusing old step flashing at a chimney is a classic move, cheaper for the crew, but it leaves you with metal that's already fatigued and bent, making leaks almost inevitable in a few seasons. When the leak starts, the roofer blames the mason blames the roofer, and you're stuck in the middle. Plumbing vent boots are another trap. Cheap rubber boots can crack from UV in 5 to 7 years, while a 2-piece metal boot with a rubber sleeve lasts much longer. If your quote doesn't list new step flashing at every wall, counter flashing at chimneys, the exact type of pipe boot, valley flashing by material, and drip edge as separate line items, you're not getting a real scope. You're getting a leak waiting to happen. Demand each transition spelled out. It's the only way to know your roof will keep water out where it matters most. If your roofing quote doesn't come with immediate, verifiable proof of insurance, stop right there. General liability and workers' compensation are not optional extras. They're your firewall against financial disaster. General liability covers property damage caused by the crew, but it's workers' comp that shields you if a roofer gets hurt on your property. Without it, a single ladder fall can hit your own homeowner's policy, trigger a claim, and drive your premiums up for years. Worse, if your contractor skips workers' comp, you could be named personally in a lawsuit for medical bills and lost wages. This isn't a paperwork technicality, it's a direct threat to your savings and your home. Never take a contractor's word for it. Demand the actual certificate of insurance before the first shingle comes off. The certificate must show both general liability and workers' comp, with policy numbers and coverage amounts. Then, use the phone number printed on that certificate, not one handed to you by the contractor, to call the insurer and confirm the policy is active and covers your address. Any delay, excuse, or missing document is a hard stop. You're not just checking a box, you're keeping someone else's problem from becoming your 6-figure headache. After a hailstorm or high winds, the doorbell rings. Someone in a branded polo shirt tells you they're working in the neighborhood, offers a free inspection, and says your roof almost certainly qualifies for a full replacement paid by insurance. This isn't luck. It's a sales playbook that out-of-state crews run within 48 hours of every major storm. They promise to handle the claim for you, sometimes pushing assignment of benefits paperwork before you've even seen a real quote. The pressure ramps up. Sign today for a discount, or lose your spot on the schedule. But these companies rarely stick around. Most storm chaser outfits dissolve their LLC and vanish within a year. When leaks show up or shingles start blowing off, there's no one left to answer the phone, let alone honor a warranty. The real test? A contractor you found, not one who found you. 5 years in the market, a verifiable license, and 0 same-day pressure. If the pitch started with a knock at your door, your risk of being left with a worthless warranty just went through the roof. Demand proof of local track record before you even look at the price. A real roofing quote is your only shield before the first shingle comes off. It doesn't hide behind lump sums or vague promises. Every material, from shingles to underlayment and flashing, is listed line by line. No guesswork, no buried details. The contractor's manufacturer certification is spelled out with a number you can check, not just a logo on the letterhead. The agreement includes a written workmanship warranty with clear terms and a process you can actually use if something goes wrong. Insurance certificates are provided up front with policy numbers you can verify directly with the insurer. The business itself is easy to find, with a license you can look up and a track record in your state, not a phone number that goes dark after the next storm. And most important, the contractor didn't find you with a knock at your door. You found them, checked their paperwork, and made them prove every claim before you signed. That's the real test. If a quote can't pass it, don't sign. Demand proof, demand detail, and never settle for less. Right now, roof scams are surging, and the only thing stopping them is you. Every missing detail is a future headache waiting to happen. Demand proof. Make them spell it out. Run every quote through this checklist. And don't sign anything until you see the truth in writing. Share this. Protect someone else.